special investigating unit has approached the special tribunal on the 10.1 million rand scooter ambulance tender that was awarded to Fabcon Pty Ltd by the Eastern Cape Health Department. The tender was declared invalid and unlawful. For more on this, I'm joined by Special Investigations Unit Spokesperson, Mr. Kaizer Kganyago. Dr. Kganyago, good to have you with us once again. A bit earlier on this year, we saw Advocate Kganyago saying that the entire procurement of the ambulances was, in her words, irregular and improper. Tell us about the findings that you, as the SIU, have made.
Yes, just to give you a brief background of what happened here. When this matter was first brought to our attention, we went to the special tribunal and asked that the department should be blocked from paying that 10.1 million rand, and that was done. But we then had to go back to the special tribunal to make sure that the whole contract, because we found irregularities in it, that the whole contract should now be set aside. And that is what the judgment that happened on Friday was about. Therefore, the contract has now been set aside, which means the Fabcon can no more be in a position to claim anything from the department, because that contract from Friday going forward is non-existent. Therefore, we are clear that the contract will no more be in operation for one reason or the other. And that is what the judgment, the importance of the judgment that happened on Friday.
Talk us through the reasons for the contract being set aside.
It was very clear from the beginning when we started with the investigation that the processes of procurement were not followed in as far as the contract was concerned. There was some agreements that were entered into between individuals, and that is the reason why we ended up doing the referral that we did to the Premier against the Premier there, who was ultimately removed from his position because of the involvement of the MEC in the whole process. Therefore, we then felt that we needed to do all of those things. Firstly, we stopped the payment. Secondly, we did the referral against the MEC and the former head of the department. And then now we have gone back to the special tribunal to make sure that this contract doesn't resurrect somewhere or another. It is set aside. And therefore, we are now completely clear that the matter has been laid to rest.
What are the practical next steps now? How much of this 10.1 million rand had actually already been paid to Fabcon?
Luckily, we acted very quickly at the time when this matter was brought to our attention, and we intervened even before a cent was paid. That is why we went to the special tribunal at the time to ask the special tribunal to restrict the payment by the department to this company. Therefore, it is good news because now we don't have to have another case where we've got to recover the money, because the money has not been paid and now the contract has been set aside. The matter is now rested.
The matter has now rested. Does that mean that there will be no further prosecutions moving forward? What are the legalities, the legal steps that now will have to follow?
Now, obviously, in terms of criminality, it's a different matter. I was only talking, when I say the matter is rested, I'm talking only in relation to recoveries and maybe making sure that the contract is null and void and set aside. Those are the issues. Because I'm not aware at the city here now that there has been any referrals for criminality. But if there are referrals for criminality, then that matter is referred to the NPA and they take it from there.
If you could just update us once again, Mr. Kganyago, where in the process this entire deal was as far as the delivery of these scooters to the Eastern Cape, and whether that actually already started being prevalent as far as their usage is concerned.
Our investigation, Tammy, revealed that there had not been any of those scooters delivered. What people might have seen on television at the time was a launch that was done with the minister. And when that launch was done, we were informed later when we were doing the investigation that those were just the ones that were given to show the kind of vehicles that they are about, but they were not the ones that were delivered. Therefore, there was no delivery, there was no payment. The contract is now set aside. Therefore, the matter will not resurrect as far as that contract is concerned.
Mr. Kaizer Kganyago, thank you once again for that update regarding that 10.1 million rand scooter contract between the Eastern Cape Health Department and Fabcon.